Afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to today's webinar hosted by KDK Softwares. We are very glad to have you all with us for this important session for managing income tax, GST and TDS notices. My name is Karamjit and I will be your host for today's session. At KDK Software, our mission has always been to simplify tax compliances for professionals. With over 20 years of legacy, KDK has become a trusted partner for chartered accountants, tax practitioners, and compliance teams across the country. Today, we are addressing a challenge almost every professional faces, but one that often doesn't get enough attention, and that is tackling or managing notices and orders from all the three portals, which is income tax, GST, and TDS. In this session, we will cover firstly, why tax notices are increasing across income tax, GST, and TDS as well, the risk of manual or fragmented notice tracking, how the right technology can help you track, respond, and even close the notices in a structured and timely manner. The chat box will remain open throughout the session. Feel free to share your questions or the observations. We also have a dedicated Q&A session towards the end. We hope today's discussion adds value to your practice and helps you gain better clarity and control over notice handling. I will now begin with brief overview of session, and after that, my co-host, our expert, Ms. Shivani, will take you through a practical demonstration of notice management solution by KDK Softwares. So, without further delay, let's get started. So firstly, let us begin with a quick question or a reality check. In last 6 months, how many notices did you see late? Not because you didn't check it, but because you were busy filing, or maybe your client informed you about it late, and somehow you missed the actual time frame in which the notice was supposed to be replied. So as far as our research goes, it is over 60% of tax professionals notice the tax notices after the actual deadline to reply has passed on. And this generally happens during a peak season, because obviously tax professionals are busy in doing other compliances like filing the returns and audit returns and various other things. Right now, in just 8 days back, we saw the GST 9 and 9C due date. So in such a hustle of filing the returns on time, it gets missed sometime. So here we can say this is not a knowledge problem. Like sections are known by tax professionals, timelines are also known, reply formats are also known. There is nothing new in that. It's just get escalated or missed only and only because the timeliness of the notice, or the notice when we receive it is already has elapsed or has passed. Or sometimes maybe in case of chartered accountant firms, usually what happens is our client receives the notices on their authorized email IDs or on their mobiles. They get the notification, but they do not generally pass on that information to you as a tax professional quickly or on time. So that why basically the notices are increasing today. If we think about like this, so the system has has become very advanced. The government system has become advanced, and it provides advanced data analytics, due to which actually nobody is sitting there or manually triggering the notices. It is the system, the AI and everything, all the data gets consolidated and somehow the notices are being received. If you see the trend over the past like 10 years or maybe before that, the trend is increasing for notices. Right now, a chartered accountant's work is not only limited to providing the advisory services to its clients, or maybe filing the returns or doing the tax planning. More major chunk or the time goes in replying to the notices and juggling the tax officer's desk on daily basis. Of lately, you might everybody be knowing that leading airlines in December 25 received a GST demand of 118 crores approximately. So reason was only that the ITC and reporting related issues. I mean, the status company has announced that it will contest the order, but the timeliness or the if this can happen to an airlines, like those who have the dedicated team of replying to notices or doing the ITC work, or maybe the accounting and reconciliations, they are also receiving the notices. So the regular clients, the taxpayers or small taxpayers, are nevertheless different from the enterprises receiving such kind of notices. So firstly, I would like to discuss about the income tax notices. You can see on my screen that the common notices that you receive are majorly 143(1) intimation, or the document request, or the reassessment notices and demand notices. In fact, of lately till 31st December, you might be aware of the buzz around lot many taxpayers receive the notices based upon declaring their foreign assets, or maybe their transactions, not the income, only the transactions in the AIS is up to certain limit. So they had received the notice from the department to file the belated return up till 31st of December. So such kind of things are increasing day by day, as we discussed. The reason is only the technology. The portal is also using some kind of AI and technology and data analytics. And so we are also, we should also be adopting those practices to manage our notices and compliances part. It has been seen that overall 50% of IT notices arise due to mismatches only. As you all are aware that ITR mismatches and AI mismatches trigger a lot of notices or intimations at first place. So coming to GST notices over here, the scrutiny returns, ASMT 10. We all tax professionals know that ASMT 10 has a response window of 30 days. So basically, majorly in GST, what happens is the taxpayer registers while doing a GST registration. They gave their email IDs and their numbers as a primary communication media. So what happens is the notices firstly land to our client's place, and then they send back to a chartered accountant or a tax professional. So here already a lot of time gets wasted in tracking, and this can be called as a fragmented notice tracking system. So ASMT 10, if you receive and if you don't reply till 30 days, it so failure of it will again issue you a show cause notice, or may trigger the scrutiny or demand. And that is why it becomes very important for a chartered accountant to reply the notice on time, so that he does not get involved in the long process of scrutinies, or maybe replying to the show cause notices and all. So this is what I am trying to basically highlight over all this thing is the timeliness of two things. First, the receiving notice on the time, getting the information about the notice on time, and then replying it back on time. It's not the technical or the section or the report or the format related thing. It is only the timeliness, which is the need of any taxpayer, and in fact the tax professional and a chartered accountant in our case. So I would like to get a quick poll from you all. What kind of GST notices do you see most often in your case? It would be very helpful for us to know that what kind of GST notices you receive in your practice. Maybe you might be working, in a certain kind of industry, or you might be having certain kind of GST taxpayers. We would like to know the type of notices you are receiving or getting. Moving forward, actually, as per our research, it is the section 61 and 73, basically notice due to this, and this is the ITC related GST notices. So firstly, you did all the ITC, GST, reconciliation work, you filed your returns on time, did the compliances on time, and later on, हमें ही इसका आंसर देना पड़ता है कि why this ITC is not matching. So 65% of GST notices relate to ITC mismatches only. And here again, the problem is not about replying, the problem is about the timeliness. Reconciliation work, I know every chartered accountant karke rakhte hain, and since you can see that in applications like Spectrum Cloud also, a lot of reconciliation reports are available. So response is already available to you by the application, but only the time gets delayed. Now coming to TDS notices also, you can see a lot of notices in TDS case particularly come when the PAN number is not verified. So the short deduction notices are very common in TDS, and in TDS it also happens that the right amount of tax credit is not passed to your deductee. So it becomes very important firstly to understand that you have received a notice, and on timely basis you have to correct that return so that your deductee or the employee does not fail upon getting the correct tax credit in their AIS or 26CS. So in practical TDS examples, you can see that on my screen that it happens due to PAN not validated or system generated mismatches like short deduction and all. So basically, let's think about where things break. Things break because notices are spread across multiple portals like GST portal, Traces provides you the notices, and in case of TDS, in fact, there are two portals. Like in income tax also provides certain kind of notices. Insights.gov.in, which is right now not in much, not much active, but it also used to trigger notices regarding the TDSs. GST के लिए we have the GST portal. So basically different multiple portals are available और उन सब पे ध्यान रखना and to track the notices ये भी एक difficult work बन जाता है, which actually consumes your 25 to 30% of your time, जो कि you can apply to some other productive work. So real cost of poor notice management is not only the demand, not only the cost in terms of money, it is in terms of the client trust. This is very important when it comes to client relationships. So सबसे important है कि when your client receives frequent notices in their email or in their inbox rather than you tracking them first, so it becomes trust issues with your clients that they think that चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट ने कुछ तो फाइल करने में गड़बड़ करी है, and that is why we are receiving the notices, whereas I know you are not at fault. This is only system driven notices most of the time. So the technology gap is multiple software. Sometimes I see my tax professionals or fellow chartered accountants using multiple software. Like for GST they might be using some other software, for TDS different, and for income tax different, and they have to track these notices ka thing on all these three softwares. So three softwares, three or four kind of different portals, and then eventually you will end up in replying the notices late. So Spectrum Cloud basically comes up with the solution that it provides all three notices tracking in one single window, which is Spectrum Cloud. What a tax professional get out of this is they can view the notices year-wise, client-wise, section-wise, and not only that, they can check if the notice has been replied on time or not. So I would request my co-host Shivani to quickly walk you through the Spectrum Cloud application. Over to you, Shivani.
Thank you, Karamjit. So, hi everyone. My name is Shivani. So now I will take you a quick demo of the Spectrum Cloud notice and order features. So basically, like Karamjit already informed you about that software, Spectrum Cloud will give you all your notice and order. So how basically in a today days, we have to manage our notice and order one by one, or you have to take your details from the client side. You have to basically you have to follow to your client and take all the notice of from the client mail ID, or we need to log into the GST portal or IT portal or TDS portal. So it is very difficult for us for maintaining all that thing one by one for tracking the notice one by one. Spectrum Cloud, first of all, as you know, Spectrum Cloud is a complete cloud-based software for you, so you can definitely use anywhere, anytime. So first we'll check the GST notice, how software will reflecting all your notice and order, which is available on the GST portal. So here we just need to click on the GST, and here you have that notice feature. So for example, if you have 100 or 200 clients, so it is very difficult to us to maintain all that notice one by one. Basically, we have to log into the GST portal, or generally we need to call to our clients and do you haven't received any notice or not, because notice have the due date. So we have to reply that notice within a due date. If we have not replied the notice within a due date, we have received the heavy demand. that sometime we have to pay some above 50 lakh demand also on the GST portal if we have not replied the notice within a due date. So how we can check and how we can maintain all the client notice in order, especially if we have the bulk clients. So it is very difficult to us for maintaining all that notice one by one. So in Spectrum Cloud, here you will have the notice and order feature. So here you can check all that client, whichever the notice has been received. So it will be automatically reflect here. So if you want to check that notice, so here we have, and plus we have that color coordination as well, that those notice which you have replied on the portal, it will coming in the green part, and those notice you have not replied yet, it will coming in the red part. So we can easily identify that which notice reply we have not done yet. And plus you have that filter option as well, that I just want to see only those notice which replied is not done yet. So you just need to click on that option here. So here we can check how many notices and orders or intimation or audit part which we have not replied yet. And here we have the type filter as well, that I just want to see the orders here, that how many client received the orders. Just click on that orders here, so we can easily check all that note order details here. Or if I only want to check the notice part, so here I just need to click on the notice. So here we can only check all the notice orders of the clients. Basically, generally, when we receive the notice, or basically how we can know that this client received the notice, if I have the 200 clients or 300 clients. So it is very difficult for me for maintaining all that notice in order, or I have to give that work to my staff, that my staff can manage all the client notice and orders. So it is difficult for my staff also for checking all the client notice and orders, because every time my staff need to log into the GST portal, or I have to log into the GST portal one by one. So in that Spectrum Cloud, now you don't need to give this work to the any other staff, basically, because all that notice and order will be reflecting in that Spectrum Cloud software in a single dashboard. We can easily check. So it will be helpful for you that you can timely reply your notices. So within without delay the due date, you can easily reply the notices, orders, or we can check easily in the software. So all that GST notice you can check in a Spectrum Cloud GST software. Same like here you have that TDS notice as well. So when I click open that TDS here, so in the TDS also will get.
Shivani, if we can show that in GST notices, we anybody can track the complete trail of the notice. Like
Right.
the complete trail is visible, and in fact, it is downloadable also.
That is right. That is a downloadable also, that we can easily download all that notices, whichever the notice and orders are received. So here we can able to download that notice and orders. So this is a downloadable also, that client can easily that you can the CAs or directly download the notice from the software. So they don't need to log into the portal for downloading the notice and orders.
Right. And in fact, any replies which are manually submitted, what I mean to manually is the replies that are submitted that are also available over here.
Right. So that reply also we can able to download from the software. Same like the TDS as well, that all that notice and order which is available in the TDS as well. So like Karamjit is already informed you why that notice is received in the TDS, because in case we have the client has mentioned the wrong PAN number or the short deduction entry we have done. So how we can check that notice for the TDS as well, because here also that we have to reply that notice we have, because we need to file the correction return. But first we need to know why that notice has come. So in the TDS also, all that client notices, whichever they have received from the government portal, all that notice and order we can easily check in the software. And here, if you want to download that notice, same, here you also download your notice and order here, like directly in the software. And because after we receive the TDS notice, the next step is that we have to do the correction return, right? For the correction return, we need to know why that notice is come. So here we have the justification request as well, that we can directly do our justification request from the software. Just we need to click on that option here directly in your notice part. Here will get software will give you the justification option, that we can directly do our justification request from the software. That in case after the justification request is available, software is automatically download the justification here. I just need to click on the I symbol, and here we can know the reason why that notice is come, that for example that this client have the wrong PAN number, the short deduction entry we have done, whichever the thing we have wrong mentioned in the regular return, all that information will be reflecting here. So basically in TDS also, because that is also very time taking part for checking all that notice, because we need to log into the income tax side for checking all that notice one by one. But in that Spectrum Cloud TDS software, you can get all your notices in a single dashboard. We can check the demand amount as well. After checking that notice, directly we can do the justification request here also. So all that notice we can check in a single dashboard here. After that notice of, yes, that we have the ITR notice also. Same like the GST and TDS, we need to reply that notice within a due date, because and same how we can know that notice is come or not. In same in ITR also, how we can find that notice is come or not, and which client received the notice. So in Spectrum Cloud ITR will get all your client notice in order. For example, if you have 300, 400, any number of clients, you can check all your client notice in order in a single dashboard. And how we can check, just you need to click on the notice and it is automatically fetched by the software. You don't need to click any plus option, you don't need to fetch this data by manual. After you just add your company, after you add your client, all that data, all the information which is available in the portal, it is directly fetched in the software. That means we don't need to fetch one by one. Generally when we checking the notice, so every time we need to log in one by one client in the IT portal. We need to enter the PAN number, password, one by one we have to check the notices. But in Spectrum Cloud ITR, after you just create all your clients in a single Excel, then you can check all the client notice in order in a single dashboard. Here we have some sub filter as well. For example, like only want to see the pending notice. I just want to know how many pending notices right now available in the my client side, which we have not replied yet. I just need to click on the pending option. So here I can only able to check all that notices which I have not replied yet on the portal. And here I just need to click on the view detail option and I can directly download our notice in orders. Same like the GST and TDS. So here in Spectrum ITR also we can able to download our notice. And here we have some sub filter option as well, like the due date. For example, I just want to know that within a 15 days how many notices due dates are there. Like for example, like because I want to know that in 15 days how many reply I have to done on the government. So here I just need to click on the in 15 days. So right now there is only one notice which I have the due date on 22 1 2026. That means I have to reply that notice before that date. Otherwise I have to give some extra penalty to the government portal. So here I can check, basically here I can use that filter option as well, that for example I just want to know, because I'm busy in filing my return, so I just want to know that today how many notice due dates are there. So I just need to click on the today option here. So right now there is a no notice due date for that today time. So here you can check your date wise also, that how many notice due dates in within 15 days, within a yesterday or upcoming tomorrow. So all that detail we can check here. Plus we can check the assessment year wise also. Basically I just want to know that in 24-25 how many notices are there which I have not replied yet. So when I select this assessment year, so software will only reflecting all that notices which is belong to this assessment year. And same here also I can check that how many due dates are there, and all that cards are clickable. For example, when I click on that card in 2016-17, so I just need to click on that. So for 16-17 there is only one notice are there which I have not replied yet. So same I just need to click on the section option. I can able to download, basically I can download that notice or notice here also. So we can check the assessment year wise as well, we can check the status wise also. So basically all that pending notices which we have not replied it, so we can check in the software in a single dashboard without fetching the data manual in GST, TDS and ITR, without entering any capture code. After just create my client here in the software, the notice and order is automatically fetched by automatically in the software. That means Spectrum Cloud will give you the all that, basically we can manage all the notice and order in Spectrum Cloud software. All that three, basically now you don't need to log into the GST portal, not in the IT side, not in the TDS side, because all that
So thank you so much, Shivani, for that clear and insightful walkthrough of the notice management system. Before we conclude, you guys can see a QR code and our contact details displayed on your screen. You can scan the QR code to connect with us directly, whether you are looking for a personalized demo, pricing details, or guidance on managing the income tax, GST, and TDS notices. If you have any last minute question, please drop them in chat box. We are happy to help. Thank you once again for joining today's webinar.